Well, I've just heard that Lane Jensen has pleaded no contest to one count of telephonic harassment, which thereby ends all the drama and intrigue about Lane Jensen versus TriMet. Also, just this very moment, by the way, somebody was carrying a gun inside a case on a bus on McLaughlin Boulevard, and that gun somehow went off and left a hole in the floor. So, safety on TriMet. Of course, what can TriMet do about things like that? I mean, really, you have to cut them some slack. They can't do well unless they have a cop on every bus and every train. You can't be absolutely safe, and as you know, when you're out in public, you're never really safe. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about safety. I'm here to talk about Lane Jensen. So that ends the drama of the Lane Jensen case. It's somewhat disappointing for me, but not being in his shoes, I don't want to sway him. I was hoping for the trial because I thought he could actually get off. I mean, I know it's always a gamble going to trials because, you know, the prosecution is confident that they have a case against him. And I know the case against him was basically his own words, which might have actually convicted him. Okay, I understand that the case against Lane Jensen was made pretty much by Lane Jensen. And even though if the context was known, you'd understand that none of those actions were taken out of a spiteful, let's harass the managers because I want to harass them. No, he was trying to get answers. But when you look at the case and you see his own words, if you're not following this stuff like I have been, it might be hard to understand exactly what he was up to with all of this. I mean, it possibly could be explained, but you need a hell of a good attorney. So I understand why he took this plea deal, because basically it's a deferred sentence, I guess I call it. So you'll get a deferred sentence anywhere between 1 year to 3 years, at which time if he doesn't do anything stupid, Lane, if you don't do anything stupid, you won't have any charges against you. The whole thing will be dropped, and that will be the end of it. No record, etc., etc. So it's basically a pretty good deal, I guess. I mean, I still maintain that this was a trumped up bullshit prosecution by people who really over-exercised their authority and their connections. And they did it because they wanted to shut him up. And if you look at any of his board meeting stuff or any of this, I mean, he has been an irritant in TriMet's eyes for quite a long time. And knowing how they think, they're obviously going to do what they need to do to get rid of him. And then they did do that, and they got rid of him. So from my point of view, it's another victory for the TriMet people. I mean, they just win victory after victory. Basically, they're undefeatable. Basically, we never win anything, do we? I've never won a victory against them. I mean, you know, maybe they conceded to letting people speak before the board meeting, but those are little victories. But big victories is what I'm talking about. We've never had a big victory against TriMet. They always carry the big issues go their way, and so did this. And it's regretful because it really is an abuse of authority. I also found out via the grapevine, I guess you'd say, that Roberta has some problems with some of my coverage of this case and how I might have unintentionally dragged her through the mud. Now, I want to make it clear, I don't know Roberta at all, okay? She looks like a perfectly nice woman, and I've said this about Mary. Mary, who I have met several times, Mary Fetch, is a perfectly lovely woman, but she talks for them, okay? That makes her my target, okay? She might be a lovely woman, but she's speaking for McFarlane and his cronies, and then, you know, she'll do what she's told to do. Now, I think the same thing holds true for Roberta here. I don't think Roberta did this on her own. No way! No way did Roberta decide to take this action on her own, and I know that. She must have consulted Harry and Mary and Shelley and Neely and whoever the hell else, the big dogs up there, you know, making all the decisions affecting everybody's lives. This was how they decided to go about this, and you know, I regret that this information has been on my blog that's hurting you or hurting your career. That's not my intent. My intent is to express myself. My blog is my personal collection of material relating to my relationship with TriMet all the way from when I was working there to today. I mean, my relationship with TriMet is not over. Okay, just because I left there doesn't mean I stopped thinking about the company and about the issues. I mean, a transit blogger is going to blog about transit, okay? I happen to have the opportunity to see the inside of the agency, and now I see the outside of the agency. Now, I regret that this is complicating your life, Roberta. And back in the old days when we actually had, like, we were civil to each other, somebody could come to me like Peggy Hansen used to do, or anybody, or the station manager, the old station manager, not the guy that got there now. This is back when Fred was still in charge and there was still open-mindedness there. And they would say, can you please take these posts down? And I would do that. But those days are long gone. And there's really no reason to take these down. I mean, it's news. And it affected my life. I'm still out $5,000 because of this, okay? I had to go to a lot of trouble to get him out of jail, okay? You affected my life. You affected Lane's life. You threw him in jail twice. He didn't deserve to be thrown in jail either time, okay? He did not deserve that, okay? All you needed to do, if this was really a true case, all she had to do, or anybody at TriMet, is go on down to the court and get yourself a restraining order. I hear Ellen Fox did that. Now, she never served Lane with the restraining order, but I understand she went down there and got one. See, that's all you had to do. And you never did it. You went to the hard. You wanted to play hardball, folks, over there. You wanted to show Lane and everybody who's the real boss. Well, you did. You win. He's gone. His blog is gone. All that stuff, all that great material is gone. You won, but you did it unethically. And now, for me to say, oh, I'm concerned about Roberta, I'm sorry, but it's news. Okay, this is history at this point, and I don't see any value in removing any posts about this case, because this was a fascinating bit of TriMet history, and you folks over there should know how I am about this stuff. This is my obsession, is this TriMet material, and I love it, man. Okay, I don't know why. It's just the way my mind works. I'm a product of the TriMet culture. This is who I am today because of the 15 years I spent there. So I mean, I'm you guys. Okay, I'm not Fred Hansen, who went off with his millions to Australia and never thought about TriMet again. No, I'm still here. That's called dedication, by the way. So yeah, I'm not gonna remove any posts. I just don't think that's right, because it would be distorting history, because Lane is now having to behave for the next, we don't know, either 1 year to or as many as 3 years. See, his life is affected for that amount of time. And what you're asking me to do is to pretend that it never happened so that you can get on with your life. Well, that's not quite fair, is it? I just don't see that that's why I would do that. I'm sorry. I apologize, because it was not I don't have anything against Roberta Alstead. I really never have. I don't know her. I have no idea what she's feeling, to be honest with you. Maybe she was feeling. I don't know. Whatever. I'm apologetic to her if this has caused her problems, but all of these problems were because of the way that this situation was handled. It wasn't because of me. I mean, if you just slapped that restraining order on him, there would have been no big deal. Although he probably would have, well, no, I mean, one by one, everybody over there could have just won until he complied. Anyway, that's the point of this, is that no, I'm not removing any material. This is TriMet history. I feel bad that this case has ended with such a whimper. I was hoping for a real trial. I thought he could win. And if he could have won that trial, then TriMet would have lost a lot more than just that trial.